Hi, I'm Drex, and this is the fourth video in my tutorial series on linear extensions. So far we've covered the basics of what a linear extension is, some of the shapes that can be made out of them, and how we can use timing and direction to create these shapes using both hands. In this video, we'll cover cases where each hand is performing a different shape.
You'll want to start out just like we did with a single hand, by performing a standard butterfly and seeing how far you can stretch it up and down. When your poi move up, your hands move up. When your poi move down, well, you get the idea. Now let's switch to split time opposites, and you'll practice moving your hands back and forth horizontally in a straight line. This can be a bit of a challenge at first. If you've ever spent time double Dutch jump roping, you may find it feels similar to turning ropes in this hobby. Now let's practice switching between these two timings. One way to ease into it is similar to the transition exercise from the first video. Practice performing a vertical line, a diagonal line, then a horizontal line before returning to the vertical line.
So this is likely the hardest exercise I've given you yet. Here's one way that you could simplify it. Imagine that there are 3 mosquitoes buzzing around you. One above your head, another above your right shoulder, and a third one far over to your right-hand side. And imagine that you're going to swat each of these mosquitoes by clapping your hands together in each of these 3 directions in a row. You may find as you try to do this that one of your hands is going to have to move just slightly faster than the other one in order to catch up with it. Well, apply the same lesson to poi, and once again, imagine that you're going to swat those mosquitoes by trapping them between the 2 poi heads. You'll go up, above your right shoulder, to your right side, and back. Really emphasize and imagine that the poi heads are closing together like a pair of scissors along the line that you happen to be moving your hands out in. If you can get this exercise, congratulations, you've come a long way. Now it's actually time to try and build a pattern out of it.
Let's take our Triquetra and use this exercise to work side by side through it. We start by moving our hands back and forth between our right hip and our head, between our head and our left hip, and finally between left hip and right hip. The first 2 will feel much like a normal butterfly, moving slightly side to side. Switching between this and the hips will be a little harder, but our last exercise should give you some of the basic tools you'll need to make it work. Start by doing 2 to 4 beats along each line, then work your way down to moving along each line only once. The result is a trick that is sometimes called the Mercedes, because the full pattern somewhat resembles the logo for Mercedes-Benz. We would call this type of pattern a polyrhythm hybrid. Hybrid because each hand generates a different shape in the overall pattern, and polyrhythm because these 2 shapes have a different number of downbeats.
Now we have multiple ways to create these patterns with both hands out of linear extensions. In the next video, we'll cover cases where we chain these patterns together into what are called third-order motions or fractal flowers. Thanks for watching and enjoy the flow. Peace.